Hi everybody, I am recording a video for creating drag and drop in H5P. It seems like a lot of you guys are having trouble, and drag and drop is one of the more trickier activity type to create in H5P. So I'm going to toggle between three screens. One is the Google Doc, and I'm using the ETEC and EHEC as an example to create one drag and drop. And also there is a Google slide that I just put into the logistic folder, which actually give you a template, makes it a little bit easier to create. And then of course there is the H5P tab. So I just started a drag and drop activity, and for the title I am gonna call it physical and chemical defense of the mouth. And so there you have your title, and of course with any of the other ones you have to give it a subject, biology. And so the first step you do is actually you need to add an image. So I can actually come back to this template Google slide, and because there are only two boxes, I'm just going to use this one. You can duplicate the slide, and I'm going to change this one to physical defense of the mouth, and then change this other one to chemical defense of the mouth. I'll just make them look a little bit nicer. And there you have it. So now you have a template for the box. And there are a couple of different ways of doing. So you actually need that box to be an image file. So there are a couple of different ways of doing it. You can just take a screenshot, or you can download it. Let's see if I download it. It will allow me to download it as a JPEG file, and I'm just going to save it on the desktop as drag and drop template, or as that. And so now I go back to the H5P and I try to add the image. Let's say we go to the desktop and we open that file, and there you can actually see the image. I have been having trouble with drag and drop. Sometimes it wouldn't allow me to go forward or giving me error messages. So the best way I would say is actually to save frequently. And if I save it, you can actually see over here the words are a little bit squashed. So you can adjust it. I'm going back to edit. And under background, under settings, under background image, you can actually see the size of the image. And I'm just going to change it to 620 by 400 and save it again. And now actually you can see that the boxes are actually a little bit longer, and then the words are not as squashed. So that's kind of what we want. So now you have the boxes in place. The next thing you do is you will actually need to add task. So you come over here and you click on the task, and the first thing to do is to add drop zone. so we have two drop zones. One is physical defenses, and so you give it a name and then you click down, and there you have created a drop zone. And then you put it into the drop area where you want student to drag the answers to, and then adjust the length and width, and that looks pretty good. You can go back and create another drop zone, but a lot of time, for me, it's actually easier just to copy it, and then just paste it and put the second one into the new drop zone. And now you need to go and add it and change this one into chemical defenses, and then come down here and say done, and save it, because you don't want to lose your progress. So now you can actually see that the drop zones are in gray, so you have two drop zones for students to to drag the answers to. And then the next step is to actually add the answer text. So you click on the text button, and for physical defense, we have just one answer. So I'm going to copy chewing option over here, and I don't like the bold, so I'm going to deformat it. Maybe I will start with a capital letter, and you want to select all because you want student to be able to drag it into both zones, and then down, and there's there's a first text. So you can drag it anywhere you want it to. You can change the size, and I'm going to save it before I lose it. See, so that's what I mean. Sometimes it give me an error message and won't let me, so then I have to cancel it and do it again. Okay, so this time he actually let me save it. And I'm just going to go back and go to task and just put it underneath the Dropbox. And do the next text. So for chemical, we have saliva, once again, you actually want to select all the drop zones and click down and kind of arrange where it's located and save. And go back to task. Similar to the drop zone, you can also copy this one and then paste it. And once you have pasted, you go to the edit and you type in the next answer, which is lysozyme. And one of the nice things about copy and pasting is, you can actually see that the drop zones have already been selected for you. So I'm going to say done. And then I can just paste again and add it and copy and paste into our last answer. And say done. And save it before I lose it. Okay, so now we have the drop zones defined, and we also have our answers defined. The next step is actually to figure out, so when students drag the answers, which boxes should they drag it to. And you go back to edit, and you go back to task. To define that, you actually need to click on the drop zone. So for this drop zone, I'm going to go into edit. So for physical defense, we only have one correct answer, which is true in action. So you just click on that one and then say done. And I'm going to save it. And I will show you the difference. So for true in action, you can, so because you specify for any of them, you can put them into any box. So for saliva, I'm going to put it into chemical defense. For true in action, I'm just going to put it into physical defense. And then if I check the answer, it will tell me that true in action is the correct answer for physical defense. But then for saliva, because we haven't got a chance to specify it should go into chemical defense, it's not counting it as the correct answer. So you just go back to edit, go back to task, and then now look at the second drop zone and do edit, and then specify that saliva, lysozyme, and antibodies are all correct answers for this particular drop zone, and say done, and save it. So now, if you're testing it, you can put true in action into the chemical defense. You can put all of them into chemical defense, and if you check the answer, it will actually tell you, well, these three are the correct answer for chemical, and true in action, oh, it's not. And I don't really understand why it's 2 out of 4. Oh, I think I do. I think H5P penalizes it for incorrect answer. So that's your drag and drop, kind of in a nutshell. And then usually when I create H5P, I like to specify metadata over here. So you can just go to that and then specify it's CC by. You can change the author or not, and then just make sure you save the metadata, because that way it will show up as CC by. And the other thing that I'm a little bit particular is actually the tag area, because people can only use our resource and find it through tag, mostly through search. So I will do microbiology, maybe immunology, and biology. So there are different tags you can add over there, and then save it. And now, if you look at on the right hand side, the license has been specified, and then we have a few tags associated to this H5P activity. So that's how you do a drag and drop in H5P, and I hope this tutorial helps.